Okay, in this video, I'd like to talk about strokes and profiles along our vector paths. So to begin, let's just give ourselves a path to work with. Say, like so. Okay. In Illustrator, if we go Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials, Workspace, Reset Essentials, there's this Properties panel that comes up as we select things. And this is a contextual menu, meaning like as you're doing different operations, it will populate with different data for you to look at, which is cool. And in this properties panel, you see appearance. I'm going to go to Window, Appearance to go to the actual appearance menu. I'll dock that over here because it has more information and it's going to let us do a few more things, give us a little more flexibility. Okay, so we see we have a black stroke, no fill. If I make a fill, let's make some crazy color. You'll see that Illustrator tries to close the path to fill it in. For this project, because we're just using the laser cutter to make cut lines, we're not going to have any fills. But let's look at the stroke for a second. If I click on stroke, it brings up the stroke menu, and there's some interesting things here to look at. So first off, we can make it a little thicker. You can change the cap to hard-edged round or like an overshoot square. You also see this align stroke thing. So how this one works is if I grab this and join the two together, and I'm going to hit Command J to join it. Now that this path is closed, I have different ways of aligning the stroke. So I think by default it's the center, but you can have it go to the outside or inside as you like, right? And I can also change what it does with corners. All right, so let's go back. So what's interesting is you can add effects like we looked at the transform, but you can also add strokes and fills, more than just one. So let me show you how that works. So we'll start with a black 2-point stroke. I'm going to add a new stroke over here. I'm going to make this one 6. And I'll make it white. And you know what? I'm going to make all these with round caps. And then I'm going to add another one. This one's going to be 10. And black. And I'll add another one. 14. See where I'm going with this. Another. This will be my last one. 18. So there we go. Okay, so what's really cool about these vector paths, unlike a path that you might do in a raster image, is you can use this path to drive other effects. You can stack things up and add transformation and do this kind of crazy stuff, which is pretty neat. Like to draw this would be quite extensive, and it's all completely live. It's completely flexible. I can do, whatever I want with this thing, and see it just works. Okay. So in addition to adding strokes, adding fills, adding effects, we can play with the profile of the stroke itself. So let me make this a little thicker again. And under stroke, there's this thing called profile. There's some presets. So you can, for example, you can have it start thick and end thin. Pretty cool. You can have it, let's go to another one. Do thick and thin, like an inky kind of thing. But you can also make your own profiles. So to do that, I'm going to go back to 1 point. I'm going to go to the stroke width tool. Okay, so with your path selected, if you click somewhere and drag, that will add a profile point. And you can add these as you go, right? So what if I wanted the ends to kind of balloon out a little bit? Okay. If you roll with the width tool still selected, if you roll over the path, you can move it around or change it after the fact. It's all still manipulable. You can still manipulate it. And so if I click here, there again, right, I can move these around, and I can also, once it's selected, delete it. Okay. And if we look back at this profile now, you see that there's this custom shape that's been made. Okay, so that's strokes and profiles.